Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and today I want to bring you something special. I call it a Madeleine McCann fairy tale: The Bad Man, the Necromancer, and the Toady. Now, why do I bring this to you? Well, there's breaking news all over the tabloid world, shall we say, like the Sun. I may refer to the article here. Um, the Sun, not one of the finest publications that tells the truth, but one that is very usable to whomever would like to put out information to the world to bolster whatever they want the world to believe. And before I go further into the fairy tale of Madeleine McCann, I do want to say, to get the truth, I would recommend that you read Gonzalo Amaral's book, The Truth of the Lie. His book, it is found in English in various places on the net. If you just put in The Truth of the Lie PDF Gonzalo Amaral, and you can download it. And also my book on the right, A Profile of the Disappearance of Madeleine McCann. My book was taken off the market, as was Gonzalo Amaral's. Although his is back, my book was taken off of Amazon by the McCanns. The Amazon was threatened with a lawsuit, so it has been removed from Amazon. But you can find Profile of the Disappearance of Madeleine McCann other places: Barnes & Noble, Smashwords, Apple, Kobo. All right. The reason I want to point this out first is that Gonzalo Amaral and I both looked at the evidence in the case of Madeleine McCann and came to our conclusions, our determinations, their theories. I just want to say that because Jerry McCann said we can purport theories, and I wouldn't hate to have him come after us yet again with more lawsuits. But we had theories based on the evidence. Now, what we're seeing now, in a most fascinating way, are new theories. Now, mind you, these theories are created by the man I call the Necromancer. Oh, let me introduce you to these three. Okay, here we have the bad man, and that would be Christian Brueckner, who is being accused by the German police of having been the guy that was responsible for the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, that he abducted her, likely sexually assaulted her, and murdered her, and put her body someplace that has never been found. He is the guy, says the German police. Well, and the prosecutor, and this will go here to who I call the Necromancer. Here we have Hans Christian Walters. Now this man, oh my goodness, he has told a lot of tales up till now that he has never been able to back with any real valid information. That's why I call him the Necromancer. He's creating stories. He has magic in his hands. And one of the magic items he has is the Toady. Now, who is the Toady, you ask? It's this guy, Helga B., who claims he was a friend of Christian B. back in the day. But when he found out that Christian B. might have done what he thinks he did, which is kidnap a little child, oh, they were friends no more. So this Toady, and I like this picture better than the picture that I just showed you, this Toady learned of the supposed information from his now ex-buddy 1 year after the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. So in 2007, Madeleine McCann disappeared. 2008, apparently Christian B., hanging out with his Toady friend, are having some drinks and having a good time, and the first piece of magic appears. At least that's what he's going to want you to believe, that the magic, well, he's going to want you to believe it's a fact that means something. Well, the Toady, of course, who should be believed in everything, because the Toady is, well, a criminal, just like Christian B. As a matter of fact, this criminal, along with his many, many other crimes, broke into Christian B.'s house and stole his stuff. He admits it. So, such a believable, honorable fellow. At any rate, in 2008, the Toady and Christian B. having a good time, and he said these magic words. Because you somehow, a year, not an hour after, but a year after the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, lo and behold, a conversation came up about Madeleine McCann. Who would have thunk? You know, who in 2008 was talking about Madeleine McCann? Well, pretty much the whole world. So that Christian B might have entered a conversation about Madeleine McCann. Oh my goodness. How can that be? At any rate, he made this statement, according to the Toady, who is always to be believed, that Madeleine McCann, she did not scream when she was taken from the vacation flat in Praia de Luz. And because he said she did not scream, oh my gosh, that means he was there because he did not hear her scream. Well, let me think about this. Nobody else heard her scream either. And since it had been discussed all over the world that Madeleine McCann simply vanished and no one heard her scream, oh, what an incredible thing for this man to say. But that put it in the little Toady's mind, what little mind that little Toady has, that he knew who had kidnapped and done something terrible to Madeleine McCann. This was in 2008. But, you know, he waited 9 years to go to the Necromancer. 9 years. I don't know where he was for those 9 years and kept that information close, you know. Well, in between, you know, after he found that out and he went to prison for other crimes, the Toady went and broke into his apartment and stole stuff. He stole stuff from him. And apparently, I'm going to tell you the big secret stuff he stole, because he found a magic box and a magic flask. Well, maybe not so much of the magic flask, but I'll get to that. And he saw some videos. Oh my goodness. He knew he was a bad man. So he waited 9 years until he finally went to the Necromancer here and said, hey, I think he did it. And this man, Walters, said, oh my God, the Portuguese couldn't solve it. The Brits couldn't solve it, but we Germans, we're going to do it. We got this guy in our custody. We're going to solve the Madeleine McCann case. Oh, my star is going to rise, rise, rise. So he took his little Toady under his little wing. And, well, first of all, thing that happened was he went into protection, you know? He went into protection. Why? Oh, because this guy, who's a total loser and has probably total loser friends, somehow is connected to the mobs of the world, the cartels of the world, the Russians, who knows, that are going to go after Toady and squash him. So he goes into protection, witness protection for 4 years in Italy. Oh, please, Mr. Necromancer, take me into witness protection. I want to go to Italy for 4 years and have all my bills paid. I want to be by the sea. Just want to let you know. All right. So Toady, who is in witness protection because he's terrified for his life, of course, he'll give an interview with the Sun and have his face out there. And he's all over YouTube now. So, my goodness, he's been moved again because he's terrified for his life. Because little loser boy over here, somehow, who has no money, and drives around in a bunch of ragged out vans. Somehow he's got, I don't know, he's got all this money to go hunt down this guy, get some people out there, take care of him. At any rate, so the Toady's been at witness protection for 4 years. And meanwhile, the Necromancer has been trying to use all the magic he can to connect Christian B to the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. Well, let's look at some of the other things he has done in his little pot of magic. Well, let's see. Oh my God, yes. After he found out he didn't hear her scream, he found out that he lived in Praia de Luz, like all the other people who lived in Praia de Luz. That was amazing. He had a cell phone. He made phone calls in Praia de Luz. Not only that, he made a phone call, a 30-minute phone call right before Madeleine McCann disappeared. Because, of course, when you're about to kidnap a child, you want to have a chit-chat with your friends. Apparently not with Toady, or he would have said that. But no, he made a phone call Oh my God. So next thing that happens, oh my goodness, yes. Well, based on all of that and what Toady says, the necromancer now just digs up the crap out of any place that Christian B lived, the bad man. And he comes up with some bad man stuff, but not a thing to connect him to the Madeleine McCann case. And then, oh my God, recently, then they went to the Algarve. Oh, they went there and they started digging up the land. And what did they find? Dirt and some little rags. And he took them back and had them analyzed. And guess what? He found they were dirt and little rags. His magic seemed to be waning. So, what to do? Oh, well, not to contact the sun or something like that, because Toady has now helped the necromancer come up with 2 more magic items: the magic box and the magic flask. The magic box that Toady claims he found many moons ago when he robbed his friend. He found a box of a lockpick kit. Because he is a burglar. He had this kit with lockpicks. Oh my goodness. And he kept it for all those years. And of course, it's supposed to be his lockpick kit. Although we don't know that Toady didn't have his own little lockpick kit. So I wondered how Necromancer knew it was his lockpick kit. But oh yeah, Toady always tells the truth. Okay, so there's a lockpick kit. And that blew open the whole case, you see, because Necromancer says, until now, everyone, the police believed that the kidnapper of Madeleine McCann came through the window. Because when Kate McCann returned to the vacation flat to check on her children, after not checking on her children for a reasonably long period of time, who were left alone to their own devices, the little tykes, because of course, 2 and 3-year-olds, they can take care of themselves. But she entered into the room and whoosh, the curtains blew and she saw there was an open window and an empty bed where Madeleine should be. And so, oh my goodness, she knew somebody had entered through the window and kidnapped her child. And she went and looked out that window and did not see anybody, but she left her fingerprints there and nobody else's. But that became, oh my goodness, this is what the necromancer says everyone believes. The police believe somebody came through the window. I'm not sure. I don't know what police believe that. There were no footprints outside the window. There was no evidence anybody went through the window. Absolutely never. There was no evidence anybody got through the window, stepped on a bed, stepped around. There was no evidence of an abductor even in the vacation flat. And let's look at the magical stories of the McCanns for just 1 second. So Jerry McCann, the father, originally said he had locked the door. The whole place was locked down. Why? Because, well, he didn't want somebody coming in and stealing his passport. The kids, maybe not so much, but the passport money, he wanted to make sure the place was locked up. But then the story changed. And instead of going through the front door and opening it with a key, suddenly they were going through the back, opening up a sliding door and entering that way to check on the children. So there was access to the flat through the back door. But oddly enough, even Christian B with his little lock kit didn't bother with the open back door, which was out of sight of people. He had to choose the front door and use his lock kit. So this is a new idea, you see. He has said, now we know the window, nobody went through it. Christian B didn't go through it. He went through the front door because he's a burglar. And of course, he didn't intend to steal a child, you see. He wasn't actually watching the flat, thinking about taking a child. He went in there to steal things. But yet nothing was stolen, because as soon as he got through, he said, oh, goody. Why bother with the little trinkets when I have a big one here? This cute little girl. I'll take her. And so the magic box got him in. And then we have the magic flask, which has never been found. And even Toady didn't find the magic flask. But the necromancer, in his own head, has said, well, he's worked on painting and things. He must have used some kind of paint solvent. So therefore, you see, in his little necromancer mind, as he's mixing up his little story, he must have had a flask of paint solvent. And that is what he used to keep the child from screaming, you see. So he entered her bedroom and he took the flask, put it on some cloth, and put it over the face of the child. But after he knocked out the child, the fumes were so strong that he felt a need to open the window so that he wouldn't be overtaken. Now, mind you, it would be a lot easier just to pick the child up and go straight to the door you left open. Why would you waste your time opening up a window anyway? But the necromancer has to have a reason for that window to be open, so it's the fumes, you see. And then he spirited the child away. But interesting enough, when Kate McCann returned to check on her child when she got around to it, she walked into the room and, yes, the window was open. And it wasn't that long since somebody supposedly had checked on her child previously. And it wasn't so long for Christian B to have spirited the child away with spirits. But she smelled nothing. Because oddly enough, in that short period of time, the paint solvent disappeared like magic. Although that doesn't usually, even with the window open, happen that quickly. Kate McCann never said a thing about smelling anything odd in the room. But that's okay. The necromancer thinks the magic flask answers the question of why the window was open. He creates his little stories, which he has help from little Toady. Now, Christian B has denied everything. And little Toady says, Christian B, why don't you be a decent guy? Because I'm a decent guy. I've ratted you out and I've gotten 4 years of free living. Why don't you just come clean so I can be more famous than I already am? And the necromancer 100% agrees. So this is the new fairy tale. And I wanted to bring this fairy tale to you so you can see what may happen in the future. Will people believe the fairy tale? Or will they realize that these two are in cahoots? The necromancer and the toady, two people not to be believed. Anyway, that's my story. That's the fairy tale. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. And I'll be back with more Madeleine McCann news if there is news in the future, or if everything goes quiet, I too will be quiet for a while. See you next time. Bye.